Hey YouTube, this is Evan with the Poser Chef. Hey, I wanted to make a quick video about my Glock 19 and the way that I've configured my Gen 5 Glock 19. Talk about a few unique things about it that I have done some research and I haven't seen any other YouTube videos about similar builds or similar configurations, especially when it comes to the optics portion of this. But I'll get into that in just a second. Some of you may be wondering why I'm posting a gun video and my YouTube channel is the Poser Chef. I do plan on posting some videos for cooking, as I love to cook. Cooking's my true passion. It's something that I do to relax and get away from the day and think about other things. And so until I become big and everything else, I decided just to throw this gun video on the channel that I've already created. If I ever get big enough, like Hickok 45 or anything like that, I may create a separate channel just for guns. We'll see how this one goes. So again, this is my Gen 5 Glock 19 MOS FS, the FS for front serration, so you can do press checks or full racking from the front. There's some debate about whether or not you should rack from the front or do press checks from the front. Obviously, gun manufacturers are adding front serrations to the fronts of their firearms for things like that. Just don't accidentally shoot yourself. That's all I have to say. Follow the 4 main basic gun rules, and I think that you should be fairly good. The MOS portion of it, of course, for the ability to add any type of micro red dot or RMR to it. Again, you guys have seen about probably a million videos on YouTube regarding different generations of Glock 19s, different setups, and everything else about this, but this is the way, or this is my configuration. And honestly, when I was looking at YouTube, I didn't see any other videos where builds were similar to what I have, and I understand that my build maybe isn't overly unique. We'll talk about this in just a second. Before I do proceed, I do want to let you guys know that I'm not sponsored or paid by any of these manufacturers. I decided to go with the setup that I have and the products that I have on this firearm because they're durable, they're reliable, and you just can't be a Glock or Trijicon in my opinion. So we'll kind of start from the front of it. And I have mounted and have for several years on my Glock 19 an Inforce APLC. It's 200 lumen light. It does the trick. I do have this gun sitting on my nightstand for home defense right now, but I also have a flashlight with 1,000 lumens on it for that. I don't know that I would really trust my Inforce APLC for lighting purposes. I mean, I don't know. I guess it depends on how big your light is and things, or I'm sorry, depends on how big your house is, things like that, where you may see the benefit of running with like a 200 lumen light as opposed to like 1,000 lumen light like you see on like the Surefires and things like that. Enough about that. I went ahead and a couple years ago dropped in a ZEV drop-in trigger. I honestly, I don't really notice too much of a difference with it, and maybe I need to change out to some different springs and whatnot to truly feel the benefit of a drop-in ZEV trigger. To me, though, most of my guns, I just run a standard OEM trigger on it, and it works fine for me. And after a certain point, they break in to where they feel better than what you get when you first open it up and take it out of the box. And so really, I think I just probably did it for the coolness factor. What I really wanted to talk about though is Trijicon's mounting plate for full-size Glocks to be able to have the ability to attach an RMRcc on it. When I first purchased this firearm, I actually had added Trijicon Bright and Tough night sights to co-witness with the Holosun 508T, I believe, is what I was running on this firearm. And, not that Trijicon isn't a durable and a reliable brand, but I still felt that I needed to have some co-witness sights in case my optic ever went down, even though it has a sun or solar panel on it, just for whatever reason, maybe just to look tactical, I don't know. When I purchased this mounting plate and then purchased my Trijicon RMRcc, because, you know what, before I get into it, I'm going to make sure that my gun is clear. So, empty mag. I did check this before, but just to, you know, not freak anybody else out on YouTube, make sure that I can visually check my chamber and make sure that there's not a round in there. What I liked about Trijicon producing a mounting plate for full-size Glocks that gave you the ability to mount a Trijicon RMRcc on here is that it brings it down to a much smaller package. My 508T was just massive on this gun, and honestly, it looked a little ridiculous in my opinion. Not that I didn't enjoy the optic. I absolutely love the optic. I decided to go, or I thought about going with a Trijicon Type 2 RMR, but again, just the massiveness of it and how each optic kind of protrudes outside of the slide width, which is great about the mounting plate that Trijicon produces for the RMRcc, is because now you can actually add the RMRcc on here, which is this much smaller red dot that doesn't protrude past the width of your slide. I ended up taking off my Trijicon Bright and Tough co-witness sights because I no longer needed them due to the glass being much smaller than a standard Trijicon RMR. Hopefully you guys can see this good. I'm sorry, again, this is my first kind of YouTube video, and so if it doesn't look right, I'll get better as time goes. But I really like this package, and in my opinion, still makes my Glock 19 a very reliable and relevant carry for carry. Now, I'm a small guy and I don't carry this appendix. If I was going to carry this, I would carry it on the outside in a holster, probably, just because, again, you know, if I tried to appendix carry this on me, just the smaller build that I have, it would print fairly bad. I actually have a, and we'll check this too, no mag. Visibly check the chamber for no round count. I actually do have a Glock 43X that I absolutely love as well. On here, I have a Streamlight TLR 7 sub, which was kind of hard to get at first, but now they're fairly available. I ended up adding some Trijicon HDs before I actually added my 507K X2 on here, which is just the red dot. I kind of wish I would have waited and got the green dot for this, but it is what it is. I may do another video on this later on, depending on how my Glock 19 video goes. If you guys like it, then, you know, obviously please subscribe, like, share, hit notifications and things like that. But we'll talk about that maybe in another video and the way that I have this set up. Again, nothing unique that you haven't already seen out there on YouTube with the millions and millions of videos about the Glock 43X MOS. But, you know, it's always cool to see the way, in my opinion, that people have built their custom Glocks and things like that. With that being said, if I was going to appendix carry anything, I would appendix carry my P365 with just a standard 10-round mag. Again, because I'm a smaller dude, it prints the least out of all my firearms so far, and who knows, I'm hoping to maybe get like a Kimber Mako. We'll see how that turns out if my wife allows me to. But again, I just wanted to really talk about this and the mounting plate that Trijicon produced for the RMRcc. I think that this, again, still makes my Glock 19 very viable and relevant for carry. I know that there's a little bit of controversy going back and forth on YouTube on whether or not, you know, because we have all these new smaller subcompact firearms, is the Glock 19 still relevant? In my opinion, absolutely still is. Especially when you're able to add force multipliers on here that make it a much smaller package, in my opinion. I hope you guys like this video. Like I said, this is like one of my very first videos, so please be kind in the comment section. And like I had mentioned before, if you like it, subscribe and give it a thumbs up and share with your friends. Thank you.